And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Tuesday, September 13th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Federal housing authorities are suspending payments to the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma until a funding law can be reviewed in the wake of a court decision that terminated tribal citizenship for about 2,800 descendants of tribal members, former slaves. A Cherokee official said late last week the Cherokee Nation has enough funding to last for a few months without affecting services or employment positions related to funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, according to Principal Chief Joe Crittenden, who is the acting president of the tribe. Zuni Pueblo, Lieutenant Governor Willard Zuni, who was arrested for a DWI last month, has resigned. KOB-TV there reports Zuni will be replaced by Lieutenant Governor Head Councilman Steve K. Boone. Zuni was arrested for a DWI in Albuquerque last month. The arresting officer said he also found two other prior DWIs on Zuni's driving record. The Zuni Tribal Council placed Zuni on leave without pay while it investigated the incident. 13 Oklahoma tribes will share a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development grant of more than $9 million, almost 10. HUD Secretary Sean Donovan has announced the Indian Community Development Block Grant Program grants can be used for economic development infrastructure or to create housing. Donovan said in a news release the Shawnee tribe will receive $340,000 and almost $800,000 will be granted to the Quapaw tribe. A grant of $800,000 will be given to each of the following: the Cherokee Nation, the Choctaw Nation, the Citizen Potawatomi, the Comanche Nation Housing Authority, the Delaware Tribe, the Miami Tribe, the Muskogee Creek Nation, the Odawa Tribe, the Pawnee Nation, the Tonkawa Tribe, and the United Keetoowah Band of Cherokee Indians there. The newly elected majority leader of the North Dakota Senate says the state law requiring the University of North Dakota to keep its Fighting Sioux nickname and American Indian head logo should be repealed. Dixon Republican Rich Wardner voted in favor of the nickname bill early this year. He now tells the Grand Forks Herald that it should be repealed during a special legislative session coming up this November. The word squaw has finally disappeared from the names of all public places in Maine 11 years after the state law aimed to wipe the word deemed offensive by Native Americans off the maps. But the owner of a private ski resort with the word in it refuses to do anything or go along, saying it's a tribute to American Indians. The U.S. Board on Geographic Names this summer approved name changes for a half-dozen locations in northern Maine's Aroostook County that still contained a variation of the word squaw, which many tribal members say is offensive and translates to prostitute or a whore. It's unfortunate it took 11 years, said Wayne Mitchell, the Penobscot Indian Nation's representative in the state legislature. I thought as a civilized society we are a lot further along than I guess we were at this time. The law doesn't affect Big Squaw Mountain Resort, perhaps the best known place with the word in its title, and James Confaloni has no intention of changing the name of his small ski resort outside of Greenville. Confaloni insists the legislature and all American Indians who say so got it all wrong. A Michigan tribe said late last week it opposes a moose hunt on Michigan's Upper Peninsula and has the legal authority to stop it, a conclusion that a state official says was premature. In a statement on its website, the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa says its Inland Conservation Committee believes the UP moose herd isn't healthy enough or stable enough to justify a hunt yet. The Sault Ste. Marie tribe is not in agreement with the state of Michigan's concerning the appropriateness of a moose hunt, said Joe Etrim, the tribal chairman. In 2007, the state signed an agreement with 5 tribes outlining inland fishing and hunting rights for tribal members in and around an area covered by the 1836 treaty that includes parts of both the state's peninsulas. According to the Sault Ste. Marie tribe statement, the agreement stipulated that there could be no moose hunt unless the state and the tribes agree that such a harvest is appropriate and agreed on an allocation for such a harvest. Residents in Gallup, New Mexico have set the record for the world's largest Navajo taco using 150 pieces of fry bread. We hope they didn't glue it together. And of course, more than 30 pounds of green chili, New Mexico officials and organizers said. According to volunteers and state officials, the Navajo taco created this last Saturday was more than 10 feet in diameter and also needed 65 pounds of ground beef, 65 pounds of beans, 50 pounds of lettuce, and 90 pounds of cheese, hopefully from Wisconsin. Bill Lee, executive director of the Gallup-McKinley County Chamber of Commerce, said there was no record for the world's largest Navajo taco in the Guinness Book of World Records, so residents created one. And that's going to be the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of Native News Update. Miigwech for joining with us, and come back sooner than later.